Hello and welcome back to another episode of The Longing. Today we are going to be continuing to read a book, The Iliad by Homer. Oh, I drew a blank on that one. So, let's get going. There in the forum swarm a numerous train, the subject of debate a townsman slain. One pleads the fine discharged which one denied, and bade the public and the laws decide. The witnesses produced on either hand, for this or that the partial people stand. The appointed heralds still the noisy bands, and form a ring with sceptres in their hands. On seats of stone within the sacred place, 254, the reverend elders nodded o'er the case. Alternate each the attesting sceptre took, and rising solemn each his sentence spoke. 2 golden talents lay amidst in sight, the prize of him who best adjudged the right. Another part, a prospect differing far, 255, glowed with refulgent arms and horrid war. 2 mighty hosts a leagued town embrace, and one would pillage, one would burn the place. Meantime the townsmen armed with silent care a secret ambush on the foe prepare. Their wives, their children, and the watchful band of trembling parents on the turrets stand. They march by Pallas and by Mars made bold. Gold were the gods, their radiant garments gold. And gold their armour, these the squadron led, august, divine, superior by the head. A place for ambush fit they found, and stood, covered with shields beside a silver flood. 2 spies at distance lurk and watchful seem, if sheep or oxen seek the winding stream. Soon the white flocks proceeded o'er the plains, and steers slow-moving and 2 shepherd swains. Behind them, piping on their reeds they go, nor fear an ambush, nor suspect a foe. In arms the glittering squadron rising round, rush sudden hills of slaughter heap the ground. Whole flocks and herds lie bleeding on the plains, and all amidst them dead the shepherd swains. The bellowing oxen the besiegers hear, they rise, take horse, approach, and meet the war. They fight, they fall beside the silver flood, the waving silver seemed to blush with blood. Their tumult, their contention stood, confessed. One reared a dagger at a captive's breast. One held a living foe that freshly bled, with new-made wounds another dragged a dead. Now here, now there, the carcasses they tore. Fate stalked amidst them, grim with human gore. And the whole war came out and met the eye, and each bold figure seemed to live or die. A field deep furrowed next the god designed, 256, the 3rd time laboured by the sweating hind. The shining shares full many ploughmen guide, and turn their crooked yokes on every side. Still as at either end they wheel around, the master meets them with his goblet crowned. The hearty draught rewards renewed their toil, then back the turning ploughshares cleave the soil. Behind the rising earth in ridges rolled, and sable looked through, though formed of molten gold. Another field rose high with waving grain, with bended sickles stand the reaper train. Here stretched in ranks the levelled swaths are found, sheaves heaped on sheaves here thicken up the ground. With sweeping stroke the mowers strow the lands, the gatherers follow and collect in bands. And last the children in whose arms are born, too short to gripe them, the brown sheaves of corn. The rustic monarch of the field descries, with silent glee the heaps around him rise. A ready banquet on the turf is laid, beneath an ample oak's expanded shade. The victim ox the sturdy youth prepare, the reaper's due repast, the woman's care. Next, ripe in yellow gold, a vineyard shines, bent with the ponderous harvest of its vines. A deeper dye the dangling clusters show, and curled on silver props in order glow. A darker metal mixed entrenched the place, and pails of glittering tin the enclosure grace. To this one pathway gently winding leads, where march a train with baskets on their heads, fair maids and blooming youths that smiling bear the purple product of the autumnal year. To these a youth awakes the warbling strings, whose tender lay the fate of Linus sings. In measured dance behind him move the train, tune soft the voice, and answer to the strain. Here herds of oxen march erect and bold, rear high their horns and seem to low in gold, and speed to meadows on whose sounding shores a rapid torrent through the rushes roars. 4 golden herdsmen as their guardians stand, and 9 sour dogs complete the rustic band. 2 lions rushing from the wood appeared, and seized a bull, the master of the herd. He roared in vain, the dogs the men withstood, they tore his flesh and drank his sable blood. The dogs, oft cheered in vain, desert the prey, dread the grim terrors, and at distance bay. Next this the eye, the art of Vulcan leads, deep through fair forests and a length of meads, and stalls and folds and scattered cots between, and fleecy flocks that whiten all the scene. A figured dance succeeds such once was seen in lofty Gnossus for the Cretan queen, formed by Daedalian art, a comely band of youths and maidens bounding hand in hand. The maids in soft simars of linen dressed, the youths all graceful in the glossy vest. Of those the locks with flowery wreath enrolled, of these the sides adorned with swords of gold, that glittering gay from silver belts depend. Now all at once they rise, at once descend. With well-taught feet now shape in oblique ways, confusedly regular the moving maze. Now forth at once, too swift for sight, they spring, and undistinguished blend the flying ring. So whirls a wheel in giddy circle tossed, and rapid as it runs the single spokes are lost. The gazing multitudes admire around, 2 active tumblers in the centre bound. Now high, now low their pliant limbs they bend, and general songs the sprightly revel end. Thus the broad shield complete the artist crowned, with his last hand and poured the ocean round. In living silver seemed the waves to roll, and beat the buckler's verge and bound the whole. This done, whate'er a warrior's use requires, he forged the curious that outshone the fires. The greaves of ductile tin the helm impressed, with various sculpture and the golden crest. At Thetis' feet the finished labour lay, she as a falcon cuts the aerial way. Swift from Olympus' snowy summit flies, and bears the blazing present through the skies. And since we are so close to the end of the episode anyway, I'm not going to do the next bit since we are starting a new book anyway. So we are just going to kind of hold on as far as that is concerned, which is not a problem. I probably should move this new crystal. Actually, do you know what? We're gonna move this crystal to somewhere a little bit different to the just pile of them there. We're going to put this one near the door. Near the horse and near the door. Just because, really. No real reason. Actually, I'm not a big fan of it like that. How about that? Yeah, that looks a little better. I'm going to go with that. It's a bit pointless, but that's beside the point. So, anyway, I will say my usual thank you very much for joining us tonight. I hope you all have a wonderful morning, evening, afternoon or night. No matter what time of day it is, I hope you all have a wonderful one of it. And as always, we will be back tomorrow for more of The Longing. Goodbye.